Hello, Renegades. Welcome back to another episode of Renegades React. And today, another epic rap battles of history. Epic rap battles of history! Yeah, so I have to do that. Come on. It's a necessity now. So, we've been getting a lot of requests to do the newest and latest and greatest of the epic rap battles of history. We have the Eastern Philosophers versus the Western Philosophers. Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't seen this. Have you?
I have not.
I am interested to see which philosophers they pull forward. Plato, Socrates, Voltaire, maybe that's for Eastern. Confucius.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was wondering like how Eastern. What is the demarcation zone?
Well, Eastern. I think it's anything on really the Eastern Hemisphere.
Okay.
So anything east of the Ural Mountains of Russia.
Okay. So we could even have I don't know if they'd have like a Tolstoy or something.
I don't know.
Or
if they had friggin' Gandhi.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know. I mean,
but they've already done Gandhi, so
right.
I guess they can't.
Maybe like Nietzsche or Kierkegaard or something.
Probably. All right. So
Immanuel Kant.
Probably. I mean, there's a lot of philosophers to choose from. Some with philosophies I agree with. Others I wish would have just fell into oblivion. But anyway, here we are. Let's get started. Let's philosophize. I don't even know if that's a word. Join the conversation on Twitter. #philosophize.
Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Nietzsche, Socrates, and Voltaire.
Voltaire.
Off the Acropolis to start some pandemonium. Don't bring limp raps to a pimp slap symposium. The mad gadfly. Philosophy was my invention. Rolling with the flyest nihilists. And me, their French henchman. We got the wisdom and the wit that even I couldn't question. Dropping Western medicine on these East infections. You've never been our type of mental brethren. We're better thinkers, better speakers, better men.
This type of arrogance is sure to be expected from men who speak of wisdom with no clue of what respect is.
You Westerners are sloppy, needing discipline in life. You lack control of yourselves and of the mic.
While we use precise strikes to disrupt your
Delgado,
concentration, and you an ass whipping our descendants will honor for generations. We build a nation
Patience.
and the present for a living.
You never hold a candle
To the wisdom we've written.
I'll give you something you can bow and kowtow to. And I squat down and squeeze out a Tao of Pooh and Lao Tzu. You need to take control of the life you're giving. They call me Uber Mensch, cause I'm so driven. Free thinker, so confronting conformists like you, it's my job. Got a sharp wit that can spit, it'll skew you like a Confucius kebab. You fucked the mission of beating your submissive ass into submission. Dishing out more disses and letters and pamphlets and plays I've been published. Now that we've covered the two yin and yang, I can move on to Jackie Chan. I'll be taking a punch a hole with my method. Man, the seminal general isn't so tough on the mic. All your men must be like, yo, what happened? You're pitiful lyrically, lucky for history, you didn't offer the art of rapping.
Bitch, I wrote the art of war, so you better get your guns out. These white boys getting burned, cause guess what? Not a sun's out. You're sick, but no, this isn't SARS. Loud C, kick the beat, now Confucius drop some bars. Let me be candid with you, Voltaire. Friendship with the egg noodle hair. Your ego's just so distracting. Free speech doesn't mean just keep yapping. You killed God, so I gotta ask. Did he die your shame when he made your mustache? And it all starts with you. You're the father, Socrates. Honestly, I think you owe both of your students here an apology.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a student of this plea. Don't make Nietzsche come over and put a knee up in your tree. Cause I'm N-I-E-T-C-S-C-H-E. And I'll ain't any motherfucker like my name in a spelling bee. Toxic like a hemlock sip. Hang a sandal on the door cause you can suck. Look, Socrates, you're making things a little tense. Come, let's blind these Chinese heinies with some shiny, bright enlightenment. I'll not be taught camaraderie from a fraud who rigged the lottery. You make a mockery of ethics, so keep your fat nose in your coffee. Let me be frank, don't start beef with B. Frank. Who hangs with B. Franks? Giving ladies B. Frank.
Find them on themselves, their chaos is our opportunity.
You must remember, a bowl is most useful when it is empty.
Lao Tzu, I don't mean no disrespect, but you need to fill your bowl with some shit that make some sense.
You don't wanna stand in the path of Lao Tzu. Today I'll make you move, bitch. Get out the way.
Yeah, we're in the tradition of rap battles. Is it written that two dudes on the same team should squabble like some clucking chickens? Man, Confucius, you always trying to put something in its place. Why don't you tell your eyebrows they need to fit better on your face? Okay, I see. You wanna make it like that? I'll smack that warmongering head out of your to-go box tag. So here's the real golden rule. I'm way above you weak brookies. Confucius say you can all hold these fortune cookies.
What is winning?
Oh man.
Timothy Delgado. Love it, guy. KRNFX. MC Shin. Okay.
That's awesome.
Nice. Okay. So.
Oh man.
Wow. Okay, so in the beginning they were all against each
Right.
other, or they were all against East versus West, and then eventually they started disagreeing with each other.
Well, true to form for philosophers. I mean, any philosophers that were contemporaries of each other, it was always like a war of wits. It's like someone would
Yeah.
have one idea, and someone else would have to tweak it or somehow try and make a better version of it. So that is pretty funny because that's all philosophers ever did is build off of each other, but also try and tear down the ideas about their ones. Which I guess that is true to form for some of the Western philosophers because they didn't exactly mesh with the time periods they were born in.
No.
So I can see why they did that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's true. All right, so
But I honestly, I think this is probably one of my favorite ones just because I love philosophy. I thought the raps were good.
yeah,
And it's just, I think they did a good job. I mean, presenting the philosophers.
yeah. What is winning?
Yeah, that killed.
Winning is winning. Okay, by definition, winning is victorious over an opposing party. That is what winning is. Winning is victory, and I think I'd have to agree with you in terms of the victory in this. In terms of the winning, Eastern philosophers, I think they meshed together better.
Mm-hmm.
They worked together better. I mean, I've always heard don't get involved in a land war in Asia. That's always been one of life's great no-nos. You do that, and you pretty much have the fuel system again.
Right.
And then,
It's a good thing none of them were going up against Sicilians.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Of course, death wasn't on the line,
Yeah.
but it could have been. Could have been.
Oh, you went there.
Could have been.
Princess Bride. Yes. Okay, Vincini.
You totally started it.
Hey, no. I've always heard. I heard that actually before
Princess Bride.
Yeah,
Really?
I actually
Okay.
heard that from someone else.
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
if they watched
I'm sorry.
Princess Bride.
I was trying to
but
build.
it-
I was trying to build on what I thought was your Princess
but
Bride
I get
reference.
that. I get that. That was good. But
Also, in case anyone is wondering, if you want to try and poison me with iocane powder, I have slowly built up an immunity to it over the course of my entire life.
yes, and if you try and poison me with arsenic, I also have built up a slow immunity to it. Unless it's a certain dosage, in which okay.
I started saying unless it's just arsenic.
Unless it's just pure arsenic. Yeah, but okay. So we both agree Eastern philosophers won, and well, actually, now that I think about it, what really settled Asia, the philosophers in all their greatness couldn't settle the land wars of China. The feudal system in China.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who did? Wait for it. The Mongols. Yeah, I just went there. Shout out to John Green and Crash Course and history lessons here on Renegades React. So yeah, we both agree the Eastern philosophers won. Timothy Delgado, love you to death, man. He's always been funny.
Could be. I had Chinese for lunch, so maybe that's just the mood I'm in. I don't know.
It's seeping into your
I could
brain
be
very
biased.
slowly. Plus you're quarter Japanese.
I am a quarter Japanese. Well, they didn't have any Japanese philosophers though.
No, oh yeah, that's true.
So
See, what Japanese philosopher? Who's a good one?
to my shame, I'm actually drawing a blank right now.
Oh, I was gonna say Kimura, yeah, his philosophy was bend a man's arm enough and it'll eventually break.
That is true. Well, I mean, that's been a philosophy since,
But he had the certain way. He had the perfect way to do it. Pretty much a chicken wing with the arm wrapped through.
Really, I guess the last Japanese philosophy book I wrote was actually Miyamoto Musashi, his Book of Five Rings.
Well, there you go.
I guess, sword fighting and philosophy go hand in hand.
Well, of course it does, because, I guess maybe he'd agree with Nietzsche, life is a struggle.
Life is definitely a struggle.
Well, it is a struggle to a certain extent, but it doesn't make it pointless.
Look, all I'm saying is if you kill 60 dudes in duels with swords over your entire life and you write a book, I'm going to pay attention to what you say. I mean, that's
a given.
True. I mean,
that's a given. Yes, I agree. It's just like, I'm ashamed to say I've read it. It didn't hit me like I think it hit so many others in the country that it became the most popular book of all time. I've read Mein Kampf, and I don't see how people can believe the crap that Hitler spewed out. I mean, maybe it was just the education at that time. Just people believed it because Hitler painted himself to be a great... You see, writers, books can change so much, especially back then. Nowadays, books don't count as much anymore, but back in the day, books were everything.
Right.
And it's just like Franklin Pierce getting elected to be president, all because... You know who Franklin Pierce's best college drinking buddy was? Nathaniel friggin' Hawthorne. And Nathaniel Hawthorne is commissioned by Franklin Pierce to write The Life and Times of Franklin Pierce.
Yep.
And Franklin Pierce enters the presidential race less than 6 months in, and a few months before the presidential election, the book comes out, and Franklin Pierce wins by a landslide victory. So that just goes to show you Robert Wool, once again, history is pop culture, and philosophers. I think philosophers. People are reading different books of philosophy because that's just like the art of war wasn't seen over here or over in the Western world until long after Sun Tzu's death. And it's just like Lao Tzu's writings and Confucius's writing. Oh, Confucius's writings were actually outlawed in China for a long, long time.
Well, yeah, he was in favor of meritocracy, where if someone was skilled for a position, that's the position they should have.
Yeah,
kind of the opposite of what government actually does.
Yeah, that's specific.
It's a meritocracy is the complete opposite of a bureaucracy.
Yes,
and really, you only find meritocracies in like a true free market setting where the most efficient person for the job gets promoted. And
here we go into philosophical teachings of the differences between communism, capitalism, socialism, fascism, and totalitarianism, and a new one that I think here in America has been born to: corporatism. Do you believe that's a real thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's like corporatism is just soft fascism. I mean,
yeah, and
because that's exactly what Hitler did in Nazi Germany, is that
it's waving the bone in front of the dog's face.
It's businesses and things, they retained control over things in name only, but really the government was running things.
And that's what's happening nowadays.
It's like you look at these mega companies like getting bailouts because they're too big to fail. It doesn't make any sense.
Quotations, too big to fail. Okay, and here you have been introduced to our philosophies, and we wish to hear your philosophies down below. If you agree with what we've said, hey, all well and good, let us know. If you haven't agreed with us, you're entitled to your opinion.
Look, if you hate the government, you can be friends with me. That's pretty much as simple as it gets.
You must love Rand Paul then.
No.
What?
No, he's a statist. I don't like him.
What? You love Ron?
Yeah, he's like he's not even like Rand is nothing like his dad.
Well, he's a lot like his dad in a lot of ways.
I don't know about that.
Well, he supports legalization of cannabis. Okay,
right.
we're going to stop here before we get into this.
When you get on the precipice that I'm on, like Rand Paul is like way out here.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Renegades React. As soon as we get off here, I guarantee this is going to be a long, drawn-out conversation, and we do not want to put you all on. We do not want to put you all through that. So we thank you for tuning in. Please check out our links to all of our social media down below, and check out our second channel, Renegade Faction. And until next time, we'll see you later, and peace out.